So I visited Oil Creek State Park, where oil was discovered in America by Edwin Drake in 1859.
Now look at it. Derek's as far as a man can see.
On the Girard hiking trail, I discovered old relics, strange objects, and some oddly shaped trees along the way. Now, follow me as I taste the forest and tackle some brutal hills, only to realize you've got to go back down once you've reached the top.
You've got to be freaking kidding me. Mother!
Well, here we go.
Hello everybody, I'm here at Oil Creek, specifically the Cow Run Shelter parking. I usually park at the park office, however, this time I am parking at the shelter site because I want to leave it a decent time tomorrow morning so I can get back and do some things I need to do. I'm planning on doing about 17 miles today, and it should be a pretty good time. There's no humidity, it's about 68 degrees right now. High of 77 today, sun's supposed to come out. The foliage looks great. Couldn't expect a better, more perfect hiking day, to be honest. I'm surprised there's not more cars here, given the weather and the time of year. I guess I'm getting lucky. So yeah, like I said, 17 miles. I got a loop I'm gonna do and then come back to the shelter site. Should be pretty scenic. Looking forward to it. So follow along. See you on the trail. All right, trail conditions are dry, so that's pretty darn good news. It feels just good to, you know, do something that's not on my bike for once and be on my feet. I urge all of you who, you know, need a hobby to come do stuff like this. All you need to do is buy the equipment, and then it's gas and food from there on out, you know, and you always have something to do that can last a day. You don't got to buy tickets out here. It was $11 for the shelter, and plus, it's good for your health, both mentally and physically. All right, got a little bridge here. It's nice little roof shingles for traction. And this is the Cow Run site I'll be staying at tonight. And my job here today is to follow all of these yellow blazes you see on the trees. Thank you to whoever comes and blazes these. Okay, I've made it to the shelter site where I'm staying tonight. So tent area, you can check it out if you want to bring a tent. Well, I brought a tent, but I put it inside my shelter. It fits perfectly, which is the best of both worlds if you ask me, because I don't like bugs. But here is the main area fire ring, and then there is the firewood that you are free to grab. This is the area where you can use the restroom. If you want to see inside how nice the bathrooms are in here. Not too bad, they keep it pretty decently clean. Little hand sanitizer in the middle of the woods. I mean, this is luxury in the woods, for those of you who don't know. And one of the best parts is you have this recyclable and trash for any bears. And obviously, potable water, which is to be used sparingly by the people at the shelters. Now, I am staying at shelter 2, which is my favorite one because it's the closest to the restrooms in case I have bad camping food. And this is what it looks like. So you have your little picnic table here, little lean-to, and then this is where I put my tent inside here. And you can hang your bag there. And then this is where I cook inside here. Pretty excited to use this tonight. Doesn't get much better than this. $11. Can't beat it. All right, so I'm going to continue on with my 17-mile journey, and we'll see you on the trail. Okay, I just made a turn onto Miller Farm Road, and that means that I am about to get to the bottom of this hill and cut across the creek. Let's see how many miles I've done. Here's my route I've taken so far in the blue. The green is the trail. As you can see, that's the whole thing. I've only done a little bit. I'm about almost 5 miles. I guess not even halfway. Don't care really. Anyways, so I am cutting across here and then going to the bridge onto the other side. Okay, we've made it to the bridge. Nice fancy little steel bridge here. Check it out. Let's see what kind of scenery we got here. There's Oil Creek. Be fun to kayak down that. There's a 9-mile bike trail that goes through Oil Creek. I'm pretty sure it's 9 miles. I have to double check me on that. But I'd like to come back here and kind of do that. I've been meaning to do that. I just kind of, honestly, keep forgetting that there is one. I'm so busy riding trails in Ohio. However, I'm going to look at my app here and get my rear end back on this trail and see where I gotta go. Okay, I believe this is the connector right here. So here we go, back in the woods. Let's do it. Okay, come across that bike trail I was talking about. Apparently it's paved. Wow, that's nice. Huh. Added to the 2026 list. Maybe even the 2025 list, I don't know. Let's continue, shall we? Okay. I followed the bike trail actually. There it is right there, going across up to here, which is a picnic area. And I've taken a break here before my last video. I remember looking at the map there, it was quite some time ago. Gosh, that was 7 years ago. Haven't been this way since, to be honest. I do remember there's a bunch of switchbacks. If you don't know what switchbacks are, they're where you go far left and far right all the way up a hill so you don't go straight up. It kind of zigzags up. But these are Wolfkill shelters. This is the other shelter site on the Girard Hiking Trail besides Cow Run where I'm staying. It's pretty much the same thing, and you go that way, it leads up to it. There's also a parking area there, but I am not staying there, so not too worried about it. So I'm going to keep continuing over this way, up these switchbacks. Like I said, they go kind of left and right up the hill to make it a little bit easier of a climb. Anyways, I will continue on. So, yeah, stay with me. All right, I made it up all those switchbacks. Yeah, that was a little, yeah, I just went up a mountain. I just hit 60 flights of stairs according to my Garmin watch. Oh, that was a freaking doozy, man. I know I said I'm in shape, but jeez, oh man. Jeez. Oh, all right, there's a sign, hiking trail. Wait a minute. I gotta go back down the hill? You've got to be freaking kidding me. Mother! Got him! All right. Stupid. At least my shadow's keeping me company. Jeez. It actually says I'm going down here. I looked at my map really quick, and if you see these double blazes, that means there's a switch in the trail. So the switchback continues on. You can see it kind of S right here, and then it continues that way. So I'm not going all the way back down the hill. Did all that work to get up here. Thank gosh that's not the case, eh? Oh. Good. Now we're going straight again. Oop, I almost fell. Okay, so I found this wild mushroom. I decided to try to take a bite out of it. Bet you thought I actually tried that, didn't you? Got him! Well, I guess I'm not in Alaska. But what is it with buses that are stranded out in the wild? Pretty cool though. It's the last thing I expect to see in the woods is a school bus. There's the front of the bus, I guess, right there. Wonder how it made it over there from over there. Huh. Just when you thought you'd seen everything, there's a bus in the woods. All right. It's very glacial over here, you could tell. A lot of rock. Pretty darn cool. Check this out. It's cool, the trail goes right through this little alley through these rocks. Man, this trail is full of surprises. Good old yellow blaze. Like I said, history and scenery. Now, I don't know about you, but I think this is the most manliest tree I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Gives a whole new meaning to wood. Alright, I'm going to keep going. There's one of those barrels I'm talking about before. So many cool things along this trail. I'm about 10 miles in, so I've seen some pretty cool stuff. So I am about to come up over the creek again and pass back onto the other side to where Cow Run is and start my trek back there. I just walked through a spider web. I just felt it right on my face. I'm just gonna keep talking. Yeah, I'm just going to cut my trip just a little short, just because I want to get to camp and take some time to start a fire. So I want to get that going. Plus I'm getting hungry and I'm ready for that Mountain House meal. Sure sounds good right now. Okay, it looks like we have made it to the bridge. Pretty nice. It's a beautiful place. It's nice that it's so close to home. Yeah, can't beat it. At least in my opinion. You can actually even take the railroad from one end of the bike trail to the other, or I think for your kayaks as well, they do that too. So, like I said, whoever's the conductor, talk about a dream job. All right, so here's the hiking trail again, which it should just say bad news, because look, I'm going right back up the mountain. So every time you see one of these signs, be wary and be warned. Here we go. All right, it is 5:43, and guess where I'm at? I have made it back to Cow Run. Basically, since I've got out of my car, I've had 6 eggs in my car on the way here with pepper on them, and then, which is pretty much what I have every day at work. And then I was like, you know what, I'm probably going to need some more energy, some slow burning energy, some fats. So I did bring a Kind bar, a peanut butter flavored one, and I pounded that in my car before the hike. That helped out a lot, and I just maintained with water over these 13 miles. So I'm going to get back to my shelter 2, get set up, get a fire going, and get some grub inside me. So we will see you once I'm set up. Okay, so I got the fire going, and it's looking pretty good. And I am going to get my dinner in hand now. I got my setup going on right here. My nice little bedtime setup in there. My quilt. Love my quilt. My little pillow in there. And I got my Helinox chair. This chair is pretty cool because it's like 1.2 pounds. But man, is it comfy. I got more wood there. So it's the simple things out here that really, you know, I mean, that's the reason I do it, I guess you could say, because you realize kind of like what you have in society. It humbles you fast being out here. And that's one of the things I absolutely love about it, is that, you know, you can get some great exercise in, some mental clarity, some peace, some time to yourself, or maybe with somebody close to you. And even if you bring somebody, you know, there's no distraction. It's literally talking and spending time together, you know, the way things should be. That's why I always thought it's a good day to go on a hike, because really you have nothing else to do but sit there and get to know each other. However, there are some people that don't like it, and I understand that. But there are some people that do, and I guess those ones are blessed. So yeah, I have this Mountain House beef lasagna. So this is going to be really good. All right, it is morning, so I am ready to head out of here. I am going to finish my AllTrails app and follow that blue line back to my car. Hopefully I don't have to go through a lot of tall grass because the morning dew is pretty wet, but yeah, I had a good night's sleep. Slept about 7 hours and 58 minutes according to my Garmin watch, and I had like almost 3 hours of deep sleep, and I think 2 of our EM sleep. So I slept really good, though I woke up a lot, and I only got up to pee once. So yeah, surprisingly I had a pretty good night of sleep, though I was kind of uncomfortable, as I always am, no matter where I'm at when I sleep on the ground. Even if I have a sleeping mat, it's nothing compared to a mattress. But anyways, yeah, heading back to the car, and we'll see you there. This is much better than the way I took in yesterday to the shelter area. There's no major tall grass or anything. think I might have went the wrong way. There was another way you could take in, but it was a side trail that wasn't really well groomed. I mean, there's a big difference. Check this out. This must be the main back road that the rangers take to make sure everything is kosher at the shelters. You know, that people aren't partying and bringing alcohol and all the other stuff. I have seen them stop in before. I think maybe once or twice. Not every time, but this is also how they, I'm sure, clean the bathrooms and add more water to the 30-gallon potable water area, which, like I said before, is really nice to have. A much better way out. Parking lot is down there. Well, here we are, back to the parking lot. It's quite foggy this morning. Going this way took me about 20 minutes from the shelters, and it was about 3/4 of a mile. I got a busy Sunday planned ahead of me. I'm definitely going to get some good food along the way. So anyways, thank you guys for joining me, and I appreciate you following along. We'll see you in the next one.